Welcome to the Blake Lab podcast. Not just theory, practical science for real people. I'm Dr. Ethan Blake, a clinical neuroscientist and practicing physician at the Ravenshade Institute for Integrative Medicine. Today, we begin a journey into one of the most fascinating and misunderstood systems in your entire body, the vagus nerve. Now, when people hear the word nerve, they often imagine something simple: a wire, a thread, a tiny line that connects one thing to another. But the vagus nerve isn't just a nerve, it's a superhighway, a vast branching network that travels from your brainstem through your neck into your chest and abdomen, touching nearly every major organ along the way. In fact, it's so complex and far-reaching that some scientists call it the second nervous system. And yet, most people have never even heard of it. This episode is your introduction to a system that helps regulate your heart rate, digestion, immune response, even your mood and sense of safety. And here's the part I love most. Unlike many systems in your body, the vagus nerve is something you can influence. You can engage it, strengthen it, train it. In this series, we'll explore what the vagus nerve actually does, how it communicates with your brain, and, most importantly, what tools you can start using today to unlock its full potential. Let's begin.
Cranial nerves, inputs and outputs. You've probably heard the term cranial nerves before, maybe from biology class or a medical drama. But what if I told you, tucked inside your skull are 12 pairs of biological highways, each with its own mission, its own secrets, and one of them holds the master key to your body's calm? They don't just transmit signals, they orchestrate your breathing, your heartbeat, your digestion, even the way your eyes move when you're trying not to cry. And among them, cranial nerve number 10, the vagus nerve, isn't just part of the crowd. It's the outlier, the rogue agent, the only one bold enough to wander beyond the head all the way down to your chest, your lungs, your gut. Here's what most people miss. Over 80% of the vagus nerve fibers aren't sending commands from the brain. They're sending information back up from your body, from your stomach, your heart, your liver, reporting, whispering, updating the control center in real time. Think of it like this: every tight breath before a hard conversation, every gut feeling that turned out to be right, every racing heart that made you pause. That wasn't just emotion. That was your body talking to your brain through the vagus. And yet, we rarely listen. We label it stress, nerves, overthinking. But beneath the surface, your vagus nerve is working overtime, trying to keep you alive, balanced, regulated. And the most shocking part, you can learn to speak back to it. Yes, not with words, but with breath, posture, sound, even movement. We'll get to that soon. But first, you need to understand the code it speaks, because once you do, you'll never feel powerless in your own body again.
Vagus nerve and sensory pathways, body and brain. Let's zoom in. When you take a slow breath, when you feel that heaviness in your chest after a long day, or when something just doesn't feel right, that's not your imagination, it's data. And the cable delivering that data, the vagus nerve. This nerve doesn't just send signals, it absorbs them. From your lungs, your heart, your digestive tract, It takes snapshots of your body's inner world, oxygen levels, blood pressure, gut chemistry, and uploads them straight to your brainstem. And what's fascinating is that your brain doesn't wait to think about this info. It reacts instantly. Because vagal signals bypass conscious thought. They don't ask permission. They set the tone: calm, alert, anxious, or shut down. That sudden wave of fatigue after a heavy meal, that unexplained peace during deep breathing, that shiver down your spine during a powerful memory. Yes, vagus again. Here's the wild part. This isn't top-down control, this is bottom-up influence. Your body is telling your brain how to feel. And your brain listens, more than it listens to logic, words, or willpower. This flips everything we used to believe. It's not mind over body, it's body over mind first. And if you've ever felt out of control with your emotions, like anxiety taking over or calm being just out of reach, the truth is, it wasn't you failing. It was the system under strain, a system we now know how to tune. Because the vagus isn't just a nerve, it's a regulator, a translator, a switchboard operator between the world inside and the world outside. And in the next part, we'll explore how this incredible wiring interfaces with the chemistry of your body, and how you can begin to adjust it, like tuning a radio. No medication, no surgery, just knowledge and breath. Sensory information, chemical and mechanical signals. When you think of senses, you think of vision, sound, maybe smell. But your body, it's constantly sensing within itself without asking your permission. The vagus nerve is the ultimate internal surveillance system. It listens, but not just to pain or movement. It listens to the chemistry of your blood, the pressure in your arteries, the stretch of your lungs, the expansion of your gut. These aren't just sensations, they're mechanical signals, and chemical ones too. pH levels, glucose, inflammatory cytokines, all detected in real time, all fed upward to the brain. Think of your vagus as having two ears. One ear listens to what your tissues are doing, like stretch or contraction. The other ear listens to your inner chemical soup, hormones, neurotransmitters, immune signals. This constant stream of feedback, it builds a live internal map of your state. And your brain, it uses that map to decide, should I rest? Should I run? Should I digest? Should I worry? Now pause. This means something massive. Your thoughts might come second, because your brain has already made a state decision before you even know why you feel off. You didn't decide to be anxious. Your vagus read the signals and flipped the switch. That's why breathing deeply works. It's not just calming. It's mechanical input that your vagus translates as, "We're safe. We can slow down now." It's also why your digestion stalls when you're stressed, or why you feel butterflies before speaking on stage. These are not metaphors. These are physical realities wired into your biology. And the most empowering part, you can now start manipulating those signals, not by thinking harder, but by shifting what your vagus hears. In the next part, we're going to explore the two branches of your autonomic system, the sympathetic and parasympathetic, and how your vagus is the lever between both. Sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. The vagus lever and first practical tool. Right now, in this exact moment, Your body is deciding, are we under threat, or are we safe enough to heal? These aren't moods, they're programs, hardwired systems, millions of years old. You've probably heard of them. Sympathetic, the fight or flight response. Parasympathetic, rest, digest, restore. They're like two sides of a seesaw. And the fulcrum, that balancing point, is your vagus nerve. Most people live on the edge of the sympathetic system, always slightly tense, shoulders tight, breath shallow, stomach uneasy. Not enough to collapse, but never fully relaxed either. That's the danger zone, chronic activation. And here's the kicker. Your brain may think you're okay, but your body doesn't lie. Your vagus nerve tells the truth. And when it senses danger, real or imagined, it slams the brakes on digestion, immune function, even reproductive hormones, all to prepare you to survive a threat that might not even be there. Now, the good news. You can reverse it. No meds, no gadgets, just breath. Ready for your first tool? It's ancient, free, and clinically validated to stimulate the vagus nerve in real time. The physiological sigh. A double inhale through the nose, one long, one short, followed by a slow, extended exhale through the mouth. Like this. Inhale, inhale again, slow exhale. This isn't woo. This isn't trendy. This is something your body does automatically when it cries, when it's trying to reset. And when done deliberately, it sends one message loud and clear. We are safe now. One sigh, then another. 2 minutes and your parasympathetic system begins to take over. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, your thinking clears. And suddenly, you're not just surviving, you're reclaiming control. We'll explore even more tools next, but remember this. The body always speaks first. The breath is your response. Autoregulation, heart rate variability, HRV, and tools for real-time vagus activation. If you want a single metric, one number, that predicts your ability to recover from stress, fight disease, and even live longer, it's not your blood pressure, not your weight, not even your cholesterol. It's heart rate variability, HRV. Think of your heart like a drummer, but not a perfect metronome. In a healthy system, there's a slight variation in the time between each beat. That imperfection is actually the sign of resilience. Why? Because high HRV means your body can adapt to stress, to change, to danger, to rest. A high HRV says, I can respond and recover. A low HRV says, I'm stuck in survival mode. Here's the kicker. Your vagal nerve is the conductor behind this rhythm. When vagal tone is strong, HRV improves. When vagal tone drops, your system stiffens, like a car stuck in one gear. You know those people who seem calm even in chaos? Chances are high HRV. You know those who collapse under small pressures? Likely low HRV. And here's where it gets exciting. You can train this, like you train a muscle. Remember the physiological sigh, That was your entry-level tool. Let's add another. Tool: heart rate deceleration via extended exhale. Step 1. Inhale slowly through the nose, 4 seconds. Step 2. Exhale even slower, 6 to 8 seconds. Repeat for 2 to 5 minutes. The long exhale triggers the parasympathetic branch, boosts vagal tone, and begins to increase HRV in real time. This isn't theory. Studies on athletes, trauma survivors, and even CEOs under pressure have shown dramatic HRV improvements with just this breathing pattern. You don't need tech. Your breath is the tech. The best time to train it? Right after waking or right before bed. Just 2 to 3 minutes a day, and your nervous system begins to shift. More adaptable, more calm, more you. In the next part, we're going to talk about aging and why HRV naturally drops as we get older, but doesn't have to. There are ways to fight back. Aging, declining HRV, and the tool that rebuilds drive. Getting older isn't the problem. Stagnation is. Yes, as we age, our vagal tone and HRV tend to decline. Why? Because we stop pushing boundaries. We avoid discomfort. We sleep less, move less, feel less. But the human nervous system was never designed to coast. It thrives on challenge, followed by recovery. That's the formula. And here's the secret most people miss. Your vagus nerve doesn't just calm you, it also energizes you when used the right way. Let me explain. The vagus motivation loop. When you stimulate the vagus via breath, movement, or sensation, you activate pathways that do more than calm. They engage dopamine, acetylcholine, and noradrenaline systems. That means more focus, more physical readiness, more drive. This is especially powerful after age 40, 50, 60, when the body naturally slows down, unless you tell it not to. And here's how to send that signal. Tool: movement-induced vagal activation. It's not about marathons. It's not about working out. It's about intensity over duration. Try this. Do 60 seconds of fast walking, light jogging, or stair climbing. Stop. Breathe. Double inhale, long exhale. Physiological sigh. Repeat 3 to 5 cycles. That pattern, effort, breath, reset, tells your nervous system, I am alive, I am responsive, I am adapting. This isn't exercise for muscles. This is training for the autonomic brain. And over time, HRV improves, energy returns, mood stabilizes, and something deeper wakes up: desire. In the next part, we'll explore how neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change, doesn't end after childhood, but depends on how you move, breathe, and engage with effort, especially now. Neuroplasticity, learning, and dopamine-driven tools for change. Most people think the brain sets like concrete after childhood, but that's false. Neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself, doesn't die with age. It just gets picky. The older we get, the more our brain asks, is this information important enough to change for? Is there effort? emotion, or urgency attached. In short, the brain changes for things that feel meaningful. And one of the fastest ways to trigger that change is dopamine. Not from scrolling, not from sugar, but from earned effort. The effort, reward, retention circuit. When you challenge yourself, a tough workout, learning a new skill, even focused deep breathing, and stick with it just past the point of comfort, your brain releases dopamine, not as a reward for finishing, but for continuing. That hit of dopamine flags the moment as important. It says, remember this, reinforce this, rewire around this. That's how you teach your brain what matters. And that's how you build new patterns, even in your 60s, 70s, or beyond. Tool: deliberate challenge for neuroplasticity. Pick one cognitive or physical task per day. Doesn't have to be epic, just effortful. Examples: memorize one paragraph, then recite without looking. Practice balance on one foot for 1 minute, eyes closed. Write with your non-dominant hand. Or combine breathwork with a gratitude reflection. Yes, emotion deepens wiring. The key is not mastery. It's attention under effort. And when you pair that with vagus activation, long exhales, humming, or cold exposure, you create an environment of neurochemical readiness. In plain English, you become someone who can still learn, still change, still upgrade. In the next segment, we'll explore how sleep locks in these changes, and why skipping deep rest is like hitting save on a document, but never clicking confirm. Plus, the two most overlooked mistakes people make when trying to rewire old habits: sleep, memory consolidation, and final tools to lock in change. You can do everything right. Breathe deep, move with intention, focus your mind, but if you don't sleep, your brain doesn't remember any of it. Sleep isn't just rest, it's reinforcement. It's your body's version of hitting save and backup. And the hero of that process? REM sleep, the dream phase. That's when neuroplasticity actually takes root. Memories get sorted, emotions get processed, connections get rewired. Why REM sleep matters most? During REM, your brain replays the highlights of your day, but not like a movie, like a data algorithm. It strengthens what you focused on and discards what you didn't. That means if you learned a new breathing tool, or pushed yourself physically, or focused through discomfort, REM decides whether to keep that upgrade or delete it. So when people say, sleep on it, they're right, literally. Tool: enhance sleep for vagus and neuroplasticity. Keep lights dim at least 60 minutes before bed. This boosts melatonin, the hormone that opens the door to REM. Use breathwork right before sleep. Try 5 cycles of extended exhales. Inhale 4 S's, exhale 8 S's. This activates the parasympathetic system and slows brainwave activity. No caffeine past 2 p.m. Even if you fall asleep, it disrupts deep and REM stages. Get morning sunlight. Yes, what you do in the morning sets your circadian rhythm for tonight's sleep. And here's the real power move. If you're integrating new habits, write down what you practiced, what you felt, and what worked. This primes the brain to replay and encode that experience during sleep. In our final recap, I'll walk you through the entire toolkit, from understanding the vagus nerve, to activating it, to rewiring your brain. One breath, one challenge, and one night of deep sleep at a time.
So let's bring it all together.
What started as a single nerve, the vagus, turned out to be a living highway between your body and brain. It doesn't just respond to your stress, it shapes it. It doesn't just digest your food, it digests your experience. You've learned how it senses through the gut, the lungs, even the skin. How it speaks with signals that slow your heart, calm your mind, and restore your energy. You now have tools, simple, science-backed, and deeply human. Breath to shift your state, movement to reignite drive, sleep to lock in change, and effort as the currency of transformation. The takeaway? You're not at the mercy of your nervous system. You are its partner. And every breath, every step, every night of true rest is a message you send back saying, I'm here, I'm awake, I'm still building. And if this episode helped you think differently about your body, your brain, or even your breath, consider subscribing to the Blake Lab podcast. Here, we don't chase hacks, we build understanding. Share this with someone who needs clarity. Leave a review if you found value. And stay curious, because next week we'll explore how cold, light, and sound can rewire mood and motivation faster than you think. Until then, breathe deep, sleep well, and remember, this isn't just theory. It's practical science for real people.